This video is just to explain the term Homeric simile and give you all an example. And this is a type of simile that appears in works by Homer or other epics, which is why they're also called epic similes. The reason this is important to understand is mainly because if you don't know that you're reading a Homeric or epic simile, it can sound like the story is going off on a different track or a tangent. And it can be easy to get lost if you don't know that a comparison is actually taking place. So these are similes, just like all similes. They are used to help the audience see or visualize the scene using figurative language, but also imagery. And like all similes, they use the words like or as in order to make that comparison. So these specific similes, Homeric or epic similes, contain really elaborate comparisons that last for many, many lines. And that is why they were named epic similes or named after Homer, because he was especially skilled at creating this type of extended simile. And they usually compare something strange to something that the audience would have already known about. An example of a Homeric simile from the Iliad is this description of Achilles' spear. And that it goes, "Bright as that star amid the stars in the night sky, star of the evening, brightest star that rides the heavens, so flared from the sharp point of the spear Achilles brandished." So a couple of things I want to point out that I've put in bold here are the word as, which signals that this is a simile and that something is being compared. That's usually going to come near the beginning of the simile, even if it is a Homeric simile. And then the word so, partway down the simile, about halfway down, signals that there's a shift in the comparison from what the audience would have already been familiar with, which in this case is the night sky. And then it's going on to compare that first thing to the second object, which is Achilles' spear, or the point of his spear. A bit more about how to recognize Homeric similes. Again, they will usually begin with words like or as, and that's because there has to be that comparative word for Homer to introduce the comparison. Sometimes they may begin with now, when, but they will then be followed by like or as. And in the middle, they may contain the phrase when it in order to add additional detail to the description or the thing being compared. And finally, these similes will probably have that so signal word toward the last half of the simile. Sometimes it's used in a phrase like even so or so did, just in order to signal to the listener or reader that they're about to shift from the known part of the comparison to the unknown.